I'm Pedro,
I'm Logan.
and we're Zero Progress. Dude, it's been so long.
Over a year now, at least.
Yeah, what a crazy year it's been. Everything's finally going back to normal. Well, it's been going back to normal for a while, but it's great. This year we've had car boots, all the shops open back up, more game markets coming up. So, yeah.
Well, basically, we just wanted to do a video and just show what we've collected over the last year. We've got 2 videos coming up because we've got that much. We didn't want to cram it into one video. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Right, who's going first?
I'll go first.
Oh,
It looks like I've got more here.
Yeah.
Right, just start with an easy one. So I picked up Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood on the DS. I've not played it yet, but basically the only reason I got it is because it's made by BioWare.
Oh,
And I just thought a Sonic game made by BioWare sounds really cool. Complete in box, really good condition. Picked it from CEX, pretty cheap, which is our sort of second-hand game shop. So yeah, looking forward to playing that at some point. But yeah, Sonic Chronicles made by BioWare on the DS.
That's cool. So I'm going to start off big. Something I picked up nearly a
So
year
jealous.
ago.
So jealous of
Got
this.
myself the PS1 with the screen, and I tell you what, mate. Like when I tried it out, it just looked amazing. The sound quality is really good. The picture quality is really good.
It's
I wish-
awesome, mate. I'm so jealous of that. The condition it's in is incredible as well.
Yeah, I just can't believe like hardly a scratch on it. Everything like works fine. It's like it's never been played.
Yeah. The official Sony one as well, so it's not the third party one. Fits lovely with the with the PlayStation one there.
Oh yeah. No, I'm really happy I've finally got one of these. To be honest, it probably won't see much use. I want to try and preserve it as best I can.
Yeah. Let's face it, nowadays, if you want to play PS1 on the go, you just get it on your Vita or your PSP, can't you? Just
Yeah,
get some
that's
PS1
it,
games
yeah.
on that. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's go something a bit different then. We've got a load of Switch titles here. So we've got Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, Hollow Knight, Owlboy, Sakuna Rise and Ruin, and Agios, I think it's called. Basically, I'm just bundling these together because I got on a bit of a Metroidvania hype. After completing Hollow Knight, I just went mad. I've got a few more as well somewhere, but these are the ones that I sort of picked up around the same time. Hollow Knight's definitely my favourite Metroidvania at the minute, but I've got really into the genre. I love the idea of the exploration, the difficulty and everything. So yeah, just a few Switch Metroidvanias. You can usually pick them up quite cheap as well, but some awesome games there. Hollow Knight definitely out of those is my favourite, but yeah, really.
I
really into that.
was really struggling with Hollow Knight. I kept dying all the time.
It's a difficult game. It took me a while to get into it. I put it down a couple of times over the last year or so, and I'd probably say it takes a few attempts to get into it, to be honest. But if you keep giving it a chance and going at it, it's definitely worth a go. Excellent game.
Yeah, I'll definitely get back on that and try to see if I can beat it. So, me and the missus got COVID, and so we had to isolate for 10 days, and we ordered off Amazon Prime straight away, 2 Point Hospital. So when I was younger, I used to play Theme Hospital.
Yeah,
And this is
awesome
like
game.
the reincarnation of that. It's the Jumbo edition as well, so it's got all the DLC.
I never realised as well it's got the sort of foil cover on it. Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, it's really good design. And it was like really cheap.
And we love DLC on the car as well.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
definitive editions and all DLC. That's what we love going for. We want as much of the physical preserved as possible. Definitely.
Yeah, it runs really well as well on the Switch.
I've still not tried it yet. I keep seeing it come up for a good price, so I want to pick that up at some point. Okay, let's go for something completely different. Let's go for the symbolic one that we obviously got. So me and Peds both picked up a PS5. They're a bit too big to hold in the hands. This is just sort of showing that we've got that. Maybe say our thoughts on it, Peds. What do you think to PS5?
Yeah,
you happy with it?
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
You got yours only recently though, didn't
Yeah,
you? You sort of waited
yeah.
about.
About August, I finally got mine after trying for ages. I never pre-ordered it early doors like you told me to. Then after just hunting around, being persistent with my local game shop, yeah, finally managed to snag myself one.
I got one on release day. Luckily, one of the shops that I buy a lot of games off online basically emailed me and said, do you want to pre-order a PS5? And this was like months in advance, and I wasn't even thinking about getting one. I just said, yeah, sure. Click the button, and I got an email about 2 weeks before it came out saying if you pay by the end of the week, you're guaranteed to get a PS5. And it was a toss-up between that and one of the latest graphics cards, and you couldn't get any of the graphics cards. So as I've been offered the PS5, I thought, well, I'll treat myself that Christmas to that. So got the PS5, and I've really been enjoying it. It's an awesome console. It plays everything so well, and getting back to 60 frames a second on a console after playing at 30 frames. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper of frame rates here, but we played Final Fantasy Remake, Last of Us 2 and all that, 30 frames a second, God of War, and it was great, and the graphics were good. But now going back to those games on PS5 and playing them with 60 frames a second patch, they're incredible. They just, it's like a different game. I'm just started playing Horizon Zero Dawn again. Now that's 60 frames a second patch has come out, and it's like a totally different game. It's so smooth. Of course, that was given away free at the beginning of this year as well through the not a PlayStation Plus. They just gave it away as like a gaming while at home sort of thing. So
PlayStation have really been really generous.
Yeah,
they've given exclusive titles.
They've given some good titles away. Quite a few PlayStation VR titles. It seems like they're gearing up for the PSVR 2 with that. So
yeah, I can't wait for that. As just like one thing I noticed with the PlayStation, you really notice that solid state hard drive as well. How quick things
so
load
quick.
up.
I bought it with Demon's Souls at release day, and the 2-3 second load times are just incredible. And I have got a PC with solid state drive, but the PlayStation 5, I'd argue, is a lot faster in a lot of ways. The games are made for it, and yeah, so really loving the PS5. And the DualSense controller is awesome. I thought it'd be a bit of a gimmick, but the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, the feel of the controller, pure quality, absolutely loving it. Would you say so?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Excellent.
I suppose you sort of mentioned it, so I'm making my next game.
Oh, cool.
Last of Us 2. As soon as I got my PlayStation, finally picked up this game because I played it with you, and decided wanted to play through it again. Obviously, the PS5 patch.
Yeah. Oh wow. It's so good.
This is probably now. It is one of my favourite games. I just absolutely love it. I love the story. I know it was really controversial.
It was at the time, yeah. There was a lot of people hating on the story. I can see why people do that, but for everyone that I've met who's played it, so a couple of our friends have played it, I lent it to a friend after I completed it, and a lot of them didn't have the same view. Nearly every person I personally know who played it thought it was amazing, so I don't know whether it's haters being haters, but the gameplay is fantastic.
Yeah, and everything's just
the graphics.
Gorgeous.
There is a lot of love gone into it, and I can see why people might be a bit annoyed about the story. But it went in a bit of direction that was maybe a bit different to what people was expecting. But I still loved it all the same.
Yeah.
Great game.
You next?
I'll go for a couple of PlayStation titles then. So just a couple of PSVR titles that I picked up recently. Well, I say recently being about a year ago now. But Star Wars Squadrons and Doom 3 VR edition. So, first thing, Squadrons, amazing game. Graphics are awesome. Absolutely love Star Wars. And when we got that X-Wing sort of demo experience with Battlefront 1 for the PSVR, I was blown away by it. It was like a childhood dream to be sat in an X-Wing and flying around in space and be able to look around at the wings and an R2 unit sat behind you. And this is all nerdy stuff, but I just love Star Wars, and to be able to sit in VR is such a different experience. I know you play this in flat screen as well, but absolutely loved this in VR. Now, obviously, you can go in a TIE fighter and X-Wing, Y-wing, and so many different crafts, and be able to see the interior and fly around. But yeah, Squadrons is an awesome game. Doom 3 VR edition, really cool. They didn't do much with the graphics, which you didn't really need. Really runs really well on VR. You can use the aim controller. Bit of a weird graphical, not glitch, but the heads are a bit small on the people in the game. And I don't know why, but like the world scale is a bit weird. When you see an NPC, they seem to have a small head. I don't know why, but if you can look past that, other than that, it plays exactly the same as you'd expect it to as the original. It's not a bad port, bar that little thing, and playing with the aim controller. Thought it was going to be a bit scary than it. I remember this game being quite atmospheric and scary, but playing it in VR, I thought it'd be scary, but it ended up just being a good Doom sort of action game. So awesome, 2 awesome VR titles there, and again, VR physical is nice to have. So
we love our VR games. So I picked up Squadrons, and we've yet to play it together. So.
Oh, we really?
Yeah.
You never got you didn't get a release date. That's why
I didn't know.
I mean, I'd be glad to go back to that. One of the few PlayStation 4 VR games that got a PlayStation 5 patch.
Oh, really?
Squadrons on PS5. I played it with one of our other mates who I used to play with since I got the PS5, and the graphics are noticeably better. And I mean, they're so sharp because the PSVR headset's got, I think it's like 1080p display on it. It's actually quite sharp if the console can handle it, and I don't think the PS4, even the Pro, could for the most part, but the 5 can push it quite far, and Squadrons on the PS5 with the PS5 patch, really sharp.
Yeah, we'll have to get on that soon.
Excellent.
So, what should I go for next? You know what? I'm going to go for this one.
Yeah, I should probably have this one as well because we both got it at the same time.
Yeah, so I picked up Cyberpunk. I actually got it from day one, so it might have been... When did it come out? Just over a year ago? Just under a year?
It got delayed a few times. I can't really remember now. I think it was just before Christmas last year.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a cool little physical edition with
I
stuff.
love everything they put in with it. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't complete the game. I played it for about 4 or 5 hours, and then I stopped playing it just out of sheer boredom. I got really bored with it. Obviously, I didn't find it had its glitches. It needed the updates. I got the updates, and everything seemed to work fine for me. But it was just the game itself. It just...
You're playing on base PS4, aren't you?
Yeah, I was originally playing it on base PS4, but
which was notoriously the worst version, I think, wasn't it?
But I just found like the story, like I could live through glitches and stuff like that. It's just the story for me it just wasn't sucking me in. It weren't.
See, for me, I've got a bit of a different experience with that. So I put it down. I played it for about 4 or 5 hours while I ended up putting it down. A couple of disappointing things. Some of the menu UI and how deep everything was. It didn't feel very polished. It felt a little bit, I don't know, just not what we was expecting. I know we shouldn't necessarily expect anything, but I've got 180 hours in The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And I was expecting a Cyberpunk version of that, I guess, and it wasn't necessarily that. But I actually stopped playing just because I wanted to wait for the next gen patch. So I was playing it on PS5 because I had the PS5 at release date, and it was running at 60 frames a second. It was a bit of a weird resolution, sort of 1080p, so it was looking a little rough around the edges, but it was running a lot better on the PS5 than a lot of other people, sort of their experience with it. So I didn't put it down to want to enjoy the game, because I actually was enjoying the game. It was a little bit of an empty world, but all in all, I thought, I like the story, but I want to wait until the next gen patch is out, because I think I'll enjoy it more, because I don't want to complete the game and then it come out with a better version, and then I think, I've just done it, I don't want to go back to it. So I thought, you know what, I can wait on it, and we supported them at launch, so the least we can do now is maybe wait on it, and when the next gen patch comes out, hopefully there'll be a load of extra fixes. The main point is they're never going to be able to fix, I think, the core of the game, which I think was a little bit of a letdown. But from what I've seen with a lot of people, they were impressed with the story itself, and a lot of the side quests were meant to be very good. If you could follow it through and don't just wander off and try and GTA it and go on random, just get on with it, and I think it'll draw you in a bit more. But I'm waiting for that. Apparently, it's been delayed till next year now, so
I'll give it another try into the future.
I'd probably just wait till I think they said Q1 next year, Q1, Q2 next year. So I'd give it another 3-4 months. You've got a PS5, may as well just wait for it. It's a free upgrade, but like everyone else, a bit disappointing all round. But we'll see where it goes. Okay, so I'll go for a couple of let's go for a couple of PS5 games. So at launch, I picked up Demon's Souls on the PS5, and since then I picked up Returnal, Hitman 3 and Resident Evil Village. To be honest, I've got to say, all of these games are fantastic. The graphics specifically on Demon Souls, with it being specifically made for the PS5, and I know it's a remake, but it's an absolutely amazing remake. I have completed this. This is my first Souls-like game I've completed, and it's amazing. And I struggled and I got stuck quite a lot, but it was really good. And I am now, as you'll see in a bit, I've got into the Soulsborne series, so we'll see where that goes. Returnal, hard as nails, awesome game. I put that down for a while because I was waiting for the save patch, because you couldn't save the game on it. That has just come out now, so you can save and exit now. So you can be playing a run, save and exit, and then jump back in where you was rather than losing your data. So we're playing that again soon. Hitman 3. We will. Tell us your thoughts on Hitman 3.
Yeah.
So specifically in PlayStation VR, because it is compatible.
Yeah, so obviously you got all of them, haven't you?
I've got Hitman 1, 2 and 3. Yeah.
All in VR, and the game just sucks you in. Like being in like these amazing locations. I think we were in like them Japan mountains, were we?
Oh yeah, you liked that level,
Yeah,
didn't you?
and
That was good.
When you were in that when you were in like that hospital area, and it was just everything just looks amazing. It's crystal clear. Obviously the missions are so.
I mean, we were playing on PS5, so I don't know if that probably was helping a little bit. It looks so good though. I mean, I'd love to jump back in. We've been sort of doing it where we'll just drop in and out every so often. We'll just go in and do a mission, and then we just leave it for a little bit. But I think it's time probably to jump in another mission on that soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking really forward. I love Hitman games. I've liked them since they first come out, and yeah, we haven't actually started the third one yet, have we?
No. Are we on to Hitman 2 now? I think we are. You can import Hitman 1 and 2 into the Hitman 3 engine and play all of them in VR. It's the PS4 version that plays VR, not the PS5 version, but they're all playable on PS5, and you get the PS4 version free with the PS5 version. It's all a little bit confusing. Sony haven't been completely great with their sort of next-gen sort of migration, but I got it all working and it's fantastic. Have you played Village yet?
No, I haven't, because I haven't completed
Resi 7. So, Resident Evil Village, graphics are awesome, runs a real nice 60 frames a second on that RE engine, the Capcom engine that they're using at the minute. It's just great. I would probably say it's not as scary as Resi 7, apart from one part in it. There's probably about an hour or two in this game that terrified me more than any of Resident Evil 7. If you played it, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. I'm not looking forward to that inevitably being in VR on the PlayStation VR version 2, if you like. Apart from that, I'm still impressed with the game. I liked it, but overall not quite. It feels a bit more like they got Resi 7 and Resi 4 and threw them together, so it's a bit more of an action-y game with a first-person perspective, but still really enjoyed it. Still really good.
You completed it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, completed it. Yeah, definitely. A little bit ropey in places towards the end. The quality's still there, but there was just a lot of bits that seemed like maybe they were trying to be scary, but they just weren't. But there is one bit in it, Peds, and it terrified me. I was on the edge of my seat, honestly, mate, and I was. If you get around to playing it, mate, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I don't do too well with
you don't like
it. I just end up putting the controller down. Right. So I suppose going back in time now, back to retro. Got myself a copy of Donkey Kong Country 2 in the box. Really, really good condition.
I mean, that is in mint condition, mate, to be fair.
So I found myself lately, I've got quite a few Game Boy Advance games in the box with manuals, everything, and like, it's not been intentional, but it's just, I find that copy, I find it for an amazing price. I can't pass it. So I think I'm going to try and lean towards now all the games that I want on Game Boy Advance. I'm going to start collecting them in box.
You've got a few already, and you've got the both the Metroid games and Advance
yeah.
box. They're in good condition as well, aren't they? You've got them. I think for a bit of a steal in comparison to probably the game prices have got a bit insane over the past year or so. And
yeah, really thought. I mean, it's obviously soon it's just going to be so hard because I remember being really young. And
can I have a look at that? I've not actually seen this yet.
And I just tear up the box when I was a child. I just tear up the box, get the game out. That's all I cared about.
The amount of Super Nintendo games I threw, like the Legend of Zelda. Is it Link to the Past? I had that on Super Nintendo, Super Mario All Stars, and I just threw the box webs. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's good, really good condition.
And obviously, it is an awesome game.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's one of those that every now and then I'll pop it in. And, yeah, just absolutely.
I love Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong games are it's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. I'll stay on that vibe a little bit then, and we'll go with. I'm going to bundle all these together. We'll start with that, and we'll go Game Boy Advance first. So probably can't really see them, but we'll show them in a little bit of footage. I've got Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 on Game Boy Advance, but these are repos. So they're not the originals, which you can get as well, but they're sold as repos. But these are called the sound restoration versions. Basically, what they've done is they've mixed the graphics, I think, of the SNES version and the Game Boy Advance version, and the graphics of the Game Boy Advance version, sorry, and the sound of the SNES version, because apparently the Game Boy Advance version had terrible sound quality. It was all compressed audio or something. So they seem to have taken the best part of a few of the ports of this and then made a repo of it. So just quite cool to own a physical copy of it. I know it's it's not necessarily a pirated version, because I bought it with the intention of having that best version of it, and I have played. I got quite far on 6, and yeah, it sounds great. It looks great on the Game Boy Advance with the backlit screen. Looks incredible. So I am trying to go for an all physical Final Fantasy collection. So at least one version of each Final Fantasy game. I'm not really too fussed about which console or anything, which will sort of lead me on to this. But yeah, I want a physical version of Final Fantasy 1 to, what we're on now, 15, soon to be 16. So I also picked up as well, even though I've got Final Fantasy 4 on the Game Boy Advance, this one is like a 3D remake, as is this one. So I picked those both from the DS as well. So these are like the 3D remakes of them both.
Yeah, I'm so jealous just because I just know how hard these are to get hold of.
So again, it's I wouldn't usually collect multiple versions of the same game necessarily, but they are a different version. Just essentially is a different game because it is a 3D version. I'd imagine the same enemies, but it's redone music and stuff. And apparently there is quite a lot of differences between them. So really happy to have a couple of physical versions of those. Definitely.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Sticking with the retro vibe.
Nice.
So I've been picking up some of the Sega Mega Drive games, trying to boost up my collection. I've been trying. So I never physically owned the Sega Mega Drive, but my older brothers did. So when I was really young, I got to play on theirs all the time, and I managed to find 2 of the games I got to play, which was Super Hang On and Road Rush 2. And when I boot these games up, it's just straight back to me being a kid, struggling like anything to play them. The graphics, the sounds, the music, everything about it, I love it.
I had a Mega Drive a bit later on when I was a kid. I didn't have it sort of when they came out. I was more of a SNES person. That's what I got for Christmas when I was young. But I did have a Mega Drive at some point, and there's a certain few games that do that for me. Gunstar Heroes being one of them. An amazing game that is. And obviously some of the old Sonic games and stuff.
Yeah. Golden Axe, that's the only...
Golden Axe is...
I haven't picked that one up yet.
And I think that they still hold up, because the pixel art graphics, there's indie games now that are trying to emulate them sort of graphics. So I think you can play that now. The controls are alright, and the controls are a bit weird and that, I suppose, but I think they hold up.
Yeah.
They hold up.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Cool, okay. I think I'm going to head back to the Switch. I'm going to go for some of my big box Switch games. So I've recently picked up The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. It's awesome. All of the game and all of the DLCs is all on the cartridge, 32 gig cartridge. And you just get sort of, a nice couple of bits with it, a little book, nice little box with it, and it's just cool. I think you get a little map with it and stuff as well, a little map poster. It's just cool. I love The Witcher 3. I've got it on PC, but I just wanted to have a physical version of The Witcher 3. Another good thing about this is if you do own it on PC, and let's say at home you play it on your PC, much better graphics, on Steam specifically I think it is, you can load up your Steam save games on this by logging into Steam through this. I'm assuming it works both ways, so then you can then grab the save from Steam. So essentially when you get home from playing The Witcher 3 out anywhere, you can then load it up on your PC, and then when you go back out on your Switch, you can load it back up on your Switch, which is just a cool little thing.
I just want to say it blew my mind just to think that they fit that whole game on there with the DLC,
and it runs
on
well.
that card. Yeah,
it runs surprisingly well.
There's a slight downgrade in the graphics.
Oh, of course,
so
but on the 720p screen,
yeah,
it's not noticeable.
Still,
I was really surprised because Pedro got it first. When he come round and just showed it me, one of the reasons that led me to get it as well. 30 frames a second, but it's pretty tight. 30 frames a second. They've worked some magic on that. They really have. I think is it. I'm not quite. Oh, Saber Interactive. I think they're quite good at porting to Switch. So, yeah, possibly a company worth looking out for. Them and Panic Button, who did the Doom games. If they do a port to Switch, it's probably worth picking up because they work some magic. Another one that I got, the game I haven't played yet, but on my Metroidvania Hyper picked up Axiom Verge. I was browsing around for it basically for a second-hand version, and this was going for cheaper than the normal second-hand versions were, so I thought, well, I'll pick up the Multiverse edition. Everything came with it, still in good condition, got it for a good price. On my Metroidvania kick again is La Mulana 1 and 2. Apparently hard as nails game. I've not got around to playing them yet, but picked this up at a good price on Amazon. Again, I don't know if this is the only physical version you can get. I'm not even sure if they do a version on their own. But I guess there's some really cool stuff with it. There's a soundtrack, there's a jigsaw puzzle, which is just cool. I've never had one of them with the game before.
That's awesome. So I love this box.
Physical version of both games on the card.
What language is this?
It plays in English. It's the European version. I think one of the reasons it was cheaper is because I think technically it's the German version. So on the back of the box it is in German, and you can see this is the European ratings logo, whereas in England this is the sort of logo we have. We get the PEGI rating, whereas this is USK or whatever. But I don't mind having the box art in a different language. It was significantly cheaper to have that, and it was significantly cheaper as well. So I'm happy with that. All of the actual books is in English as well, though, isn't it?
That's amazing. That is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to playing it. I've heard it's one of the hardest Metroidvanias, harder than Hollow Knight, so we'll see how we get on that. I seem to be punishing myself with games recently, with some difficult games.
It'd probably be one I'd stay away from then. Right, me again. So I picked this up when I got the PlayStation 1. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto Collector's Edition for the PlayStation. And yeah, I mean, again, this is in mint condition. It's got the first one, GTA London and GTA 2 on there.
Yeah, I want this badly.
I mean, this looks like it's never been touched.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Just to have this. You know what, strange enough, it's got Vice City out on there, so.
Oh, wow, yeah. Okay. So this must have been released. Let's have a quick look at that. Oh, okay, so the collector's edition must have come around the time that the PS2 and Vice City was out, yeah. Even though this is a PlayStation 1 game. So they were still releasing PS1 games. So today I learned that they were still releasing PS1 games and Collector's Edition PlayStation 1 games when Vice City was coming out for the PS2, which is quite a long time into the life cycle.
Yeah,
3 years at least. So
2003 this came out.
Yeah, that's cool. That is in mint condition. I can smell how new it is. That manual has that new smell still. It's awesome.
So it's something that I'm probably going to start playing. You'll play again, obviously in light of the new GTA remastered coming out.
I can't wait for that. I'm a iffy on which console to get it on, but that's awesome. That is. They're the only ones I'm missing. I'm going for a complete physical collection on. Actually, I'm getting them on PC. Strangely enough, I've got a physical collection, and the only ones I'm missing, I think I'm only missing Grand Theft Auto 2 and Grand Theft Auto 4, and then I've got a complete physical collection of Grand Theft Auto on PC, so a bit of a weird console to collect for. Okay, let's have a look down here what we've got next. So, might go for some PSP now. So, pick this up for a steal, which is Parasite Eve Third Birthday. Never played it. I heard it's a more actiony version of Parasite Eve. It's relatively rare. We don't often get these red boxes in England. It is a PEGI game, so maybe it was specific for this particular version, this particular game. but I had to pick it up for the price it was at, and yeah, we don't see a lot of these around.
Yeah,
do
that's
we?
cool. That is.
So yeah, there's Parasite Eve, and then just chucking them in there with the PSP games is Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, and Final Fantasy 4 on the PSP. So I've technically got 3 versions of Final Fantasy 4 here, but again, apparently this version is different again to the other 2. I don't know if this is considered the best version, but these, apart from the NES Super Nintendo, I think it is maybe, these are the only 2 physical versions of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 that I can get on a console that I own that I can play on. So really awesome to have these. Unfortunately, I bought this one online from CEX. You don't get to see what it is first. It didn't come with a manual, and the box is a bit tattered. A little bit annoyed about that, but maybe I'll be able to pick a better version up one day. But yeah, the other 2 though, picked up from one of our friends' game shops, and you know, being able to actually look at the game first, see that it's got a manual and being in good condition is awesome. So
That's awesome. And start
more Final Fantasy.
Start building your little shrine to Final Fantasy.
I mean, I would do that. I love it.
Right, what should I go for now? So this is something that I picked up that I used to have when I was younger, and then through moving about, I've lost it. But got it again for the GameCube, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and yeah, when I was going. So from playing the last one that came out for the Switch, there was one thing I always missed was the adventure mode on this. That was on Melee. I'm not sure if you ever played it.
I did, yeah. I'm completely with you with that. I'm sure on like the Wii or the Wii U or something, there was similar things on there. Such a shame because it made it feel a bit more single player.
Yeah.
It made it feel like there's an actual game in there. So.
And I used to love like collecting those trophies in between, and then at the end you always got that like little alert if you unlocked a character, but you had to like battle them to have them. Yeah, oh mate, I love this game so much. Yeah, really good. I think I got this off eBay, and I was really happy with everything.
Yeah, good condition that is. GameCube games, as people probably well know, are becoming quite collectible, quite rare, and it's Nintendo, so quite expensive.
Hardly see them about, do we? I mean, graphics on this as well, like, Christ, I can't believe how good they still hold up.
Right,
like
okay.
The detail,
Really?
so you can like pause it and then like zoom in the middle of a battle.
I mean,
and, like, you can see like the detail in their clothes and all that. Like,
to be fair, I mean, like even I know Smash Brothers Ultimate, the latest Switch one. I know it is the latest version, but even on that, I still, when I play that now, it runs at 60 frames a second, and the detail on it is incredible. I mean, it's everybody should have Smash Brothers Ultimate for the Switch, just because it's such a polished quality game, and if you can just get a few friends together and beat each other up on it, then it's a laugh, you know. And there's a character on there for everyone, you know. When you can get, you know, Solid Snake beating up Pikachu, and then you know, Cloud from Final Fantasy mixed in with Mario. It's great, you know. You're never ever going to see them characters, that many of them together. So
no, it's
and
awesome.
if it wasn't for you know, Melee being as popular as it was, we wouldn't have the other one. So
yeah, no, awesome game.
excellent. Okay, so I think I'll just do this one quickly. So after playing Demon Souls, I was on a Souls game hype, and I picked this up for a good price. I was surprised as well, which is Dark Souls Trilogy. So it's Dark Souls 1, 2 and 3. As far as I'm aware, I think it does say on the back, it's all of the DLC for each game. So this is an awesome little collection for me, this is. I played a few hours Dark Souls 1. I'm liking it. It does seem to play same buttons and everything as Demon Souls to the PS5. Graphics obviously aren't quite as good, but runs at a good frame rate. I think they're all 60 frames a second on PS4 Pro and PS5. But yeah, to have a physical version, I like having the little box sets as well. I like getting like little game sets together. That to me is awesome. And again, to have all the DLC on there, it was a must-have for me. And I'd imagine in time to come, this will probably get quite collectible. Not that I bought it for the collectible thing, but I just hate passing up on something and then thinking a year or two down the line, like, I wish I'd got that, because I am into it and I want to play it, and now I don't want to get, you know, scalped for it and robbed for it. But really cool series. I'm hoping one day to complete them all. So
I'm going to do these ones as I think that's a two-part bundle. So picked up a couple of Switch games myself over the past year.
sort of chuck mine in there as well then for
Oh,
that.
you got yours.
Yeah,
So Cadence of Hyrule, Correct with Neurodancer. When I first saw it, you first showed me this.
I bought it on release day.
It was a Zelda rhythm game. To me, I thought, don't know how that will work. We played it. I played it by myself to begin with, and kept dying from like this first.
It is difficult. I got very angry with this game to start with because I didn't understand it, and I couldn't, because it's sort of like done by a little bit like Link to the Past. Like you know, move from screen to screen is how you move around the map. So it's kind of got that top down perspective, and the graphics is good.
Yeah.
The music's amazing, and I was into that, but yeah, I kept dying, and it took me a couple of hours. Because I'd already got quite good at it and I'd already got quite far into the time you'd got the game and come round, you can play it in 2-player.
Yeah.
Which I recommend if you can play it in 2-player, and especially if one of you's already a bit into it.
It makes the game so much more. It makes it easier, and it's really fun to work together. It's really good co-op game. The other Switch game I picked up was Horizon Chase Turbo.
How well does that play on the Switch as well?
I know,
it's so smooth. The graphics are beautiful.
Try it out on the Switch, and I need to try it out on the Switch OLED to see what it looks like now. No, awesome game. Again, keeping up with that. Like Super Hang On and Road Rash, old styles. Like, it's a love letter
to me. It's Top Gear for the SNES, mate.
Yeah,
that's how it plays. Top Gear for the SNES. I love that game.
And my other one is Streets of Rage 4. Like, slowly starting to get back into the beat 'em ups.
I should have brought mine out as well. In fact, maybe. No, it must be in another set, but yeah. Graphics again, and the smoothness of the game, the gameplay, quality game, Streets of Rage 4. I think you could play that 2-player. Maybe that's something we should probably jump on as well.
Yeah. No, look, absolutely love those games, and they look amazing as well.
So I've got a load of Switch games here, so I'm gonna. I'll do it in 2 sets because you've still got a few games together. So I picked up, to be fair, some of these should have been in the other one. More Metroidvania games. Both of the sorry about this. I seem to have lost the other one. Well, it was meant to be in there. I've got both of the Ori games, Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Ori and the Blind Forest. Those games are beautiful, graphics are incredible. I found them a little bit difficult in places, to be honest, and this is coming from Hollow Knight. I don't know what it was, whether it felt a bit different. The character feels a bit floaty in these games, but still really good, and still really glad I've got them. Little bit annoyed that after releasing a separate version of each, there's now a version with both of them on the cart, and it's the price of one of them. This seems to be a weird thing that's happening at the minute. Like, a game will release, and then if you wait another couple of months later, the game releases again, but in like a bundle, and it's just. But whatever, you know. Yeah, and I've not played this yet, but apparently it's an amazing Metroidvania mixed with the pinball game. So
that's awesome.
Just to add to my Metroidvania collection, and then just another couple of Switch titles that I picked up. Subnautica and Below Zero. I do own these on PC, and I have played them in VR because they've got a native VR port. They're awesome, but this has actually got both games on one cart, and I believe this might be one of the only places that you can get Subnautica and Below Zero on the same sort of disc or cartridge. For the PS5, you can only get Below Zero, but you can then download the original for free, but they're not both on the disc. So I think this is the only place for both of them. And apparently it runs really, really well. So I just had to get it just for collector's sake because I do like the game, and you know, to have both on there. A limited run release, not played it yet. I think it's very similar to Streets of Rage, bit of a beat 'em up game.
Really jealous.
I remember seeing it a while ago. People kept going on about it was a good game. It got delisted from the Xbox store because I think it was an Xbox arcade game back in the day. Never played it, but I can remember seeing it. Really, really liked the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So as soon as I seen it go up for sale on limited run, I picked that up. And then a couple of RPG games. They took me a while to get these because they seem to shoot up ridiculously in price, but they must have done a new print run. So I got Atelier Ryza 1 and Atelier Ryza 2. Really cool games. Just, you know, nothing like groundbreaking RPG wise, but they remind me a little bit of Dark Chronicle, also known as Dark Cloud in America. Real deep crafting alchemy system. I've had loads of fun just crafting on it, and it's got real nice colour graphics. It kind of not cell shaded, but it just pops. Do you know what I mean? Even on the original Switch, let alone the OLED, it's just a really nice looking game. It runs really nice as well. It's not like I say, it's not groundbreaking, but it's just a nice RPG. It's a bit like comfort food, but yeah, both of them are really cool. And last but not least, Hades, awesome game. Everyone kept banging on about it. I wait for the physical release because it was originally released digitally, and I do keep holding out for these. And luckily, it did come out. Really good price as well for what it was. Quite a few hours in it. Still haven't completed it yet, actually. I think I'd done about 30 or 40 runs, sort of like, you know, run and then you die and then you get a bit further each time, as it's like a rogue light game. And I got to the last boss, and spoilers, if you don't want to hear this now, last boss is Hades. But when you think you've killed him, you haven't. And that, he basically annihilated me. And I put it down for a bit, but I probably should go back to it. It runs really well on Switch, by the way. For anyone that just wants a game that they can just get stuck into, hack and slash action, runs really well on the Switch. Can't recommend Hades enough.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really want to get myself Hades, but
it's gone stupid. It's not necessarily like a limited run game as far as I'm aware, but it seems to be priced as one at the minute, so I don't know what's going on there.
Strange. I've bundled these. So Xbox One games and PS4 games have shot down in price, so they're just really cheap. You can pick up.
This is a good time to collect for them.
Exclusives, yeah.
This is a good time to
collect. I've yet to actually pick up an Xbox One yet. I want to pick myself one up so I can play all my 360 games on my original Xbox.
You was considering getting a Series X maybe or something.
Yeah, that's
so as far as I'm aware, they all work on the Series X perfectly as well.
Well, once I find an Xbox One for a price I like, then I will pick myself one up. But half the game's ready. So I've got Rise, Son of Rome, Titanfall 1 and 2. Oh, going a bit weird. And Wolfenstein New Order. What a game!
Disclaimer: we didn't actually play it on the Xbox One. We don't actually. I don't think any of us own an Xbox One or you know. But we played Wolfenstein on PC, so we can at least say what it's like on that. We weren't really expecting that, were we?
No.
I thought it looked cool.
Yeah,
it's an ID software game, sort of like in the vein of like Doom and stuff.
The story just sucked me in straight away, even though you wouldn't think of it as a really in-depth story. But
I thought it was just going to be a shoot Nazis game, and I was down with that. Okay, let's do that. But pleasantly surprised with it. Yeah. We've completed that now. We're a couple of hours into the second one. Oh, so good. If anyone wants a bit of a... They're becoming a bit rarer nowadays, which are story first-person shooters. Like back in the day, you used to play like Medal of Honor and stuff like that, and even down to Time Splitters 2 and 3, where you actually had like and even Titanfall 2, you had just a campaign-based shooter. But now everything's always about the multiplayer, and it's almost like the campaign's just like, here's a few hours of the campaign, and everybody playing it for the multiplayer. So if you're into first-person shooters and you want a good campaign that's a bit different from your typical Call of Duty or anything like that, awesome. And it's literally so cheap on PlayStation now, isn't it? I mean, it's a few quid. It's literally nothing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, let's go back to PlayStation for a minute. I have to lean right over here and get that. Oh. So these aren't necessarily games that I bought even in the past year necessarily, but it's actually what they're contained in. So we'll have to do a sort of sign away shot for this, but I'll just show a couple of them. So basically it's these game store we have game
Yeah.
instead of sort of game stop. But at our sort of game franchise store, did these like special, I don't know if they're considered special edition or exclusive to their shop at least, versions of the PlayStation 4 exclusives. And basically I think there's 10 of them. And I was lucky enough to, I think when I bought Horizon, the complete edition, it came in this, and I thought, wow, that's just awesome. So I looked about to see which other ones they did. It turned out it was basically all of the exclusives for PlayStation 4. Went into the game store one day and was speaking to one of the guys in there, and mentioned that I'd really like these cardboard inserts. I already owned a few of these games but didn't have the inserts for them. He basically went into the back, got a basket out, and he had all of them in there, like loads of them as well, and just basically went, well, which ones haven't you got? I think while I was there I picked up, I think it was The Last of Us, and Uncharted I think it was. So I picked up a couple of games that I didn't have, and he gave me the sleeves for them, and then basically just gave me the sleeves for all of them. And it's just a really cool little set to have, sort of displayed on my shelf of these PS4 exclusives. Not all of them are exclusive now, by the way. But it's just really cool, mate. I'm really happy with these. And again, for the guy giving me them for free, it seemed like they'd basically been given loads of them to kind of slip on them, but they just couldn't be bothered to put them on. So they still had multiple versions of each one of these sleeves, these sort of, you know, for the games. And, you know, obviously you can just slot them onto the game. So I already had this game and just slot it on there.
Yeah.
And
Oh no, that's awesome, mate. That's really good of that bloke to do that.
it was, yeah, and it's just a cool little thing that I just haven't seen anywhere else before, and it is literally just a bit of cardboard, but I really like the art on them, and it's just cool way to have these games and display them on my shelf. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
really happy with that.
That's awesome. For me,
I've got probably 2 left, so
I'll do a couple. I'll do these together then. So going, car boots have opened back up, so and I absolutely love going around car boots. You always find,
you find something.
yeah, you always find something.
Always find something. I think the thing with car boots is you don't know what you're getting, so it's quite exciting as well, because it's like there could be nothing, or there could just be this gem.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously all the games that I pick up, I can just buy online, but like it just takes away that whole fun of like finding something, finding it at a good price. So a couple of games that I managed to pick up through car boots. Sonic the Hedgehog. I've been looking for this game for ages. I remember seeing it about 3-4 years ago. I saw it was about, I think it was like 15 quid. And I thought, I'm not paying that. It'll go down in price. And then now it's been going up in price. But I managed to find it really cheap. So I'm not sure if
I don't think I played that. In all fairness, out of is it 3D Sonic game?
Yeah.
Out of the 3D Sonic game, the only one I've really played is Sonic Generations, which I love. I think Sonic Generations is fantastic, but I've never played any of the others, including that.
Well, again with Tony Hawk's Project 8, there is a big thing with these two games that I have a lot of nostalgia for. I had the Xbox 360 from day one, and I'm not sure if people remember the old style start-up screen, and you go on Xbox Live and you can download demos and like these. Because I only had a few games, I used to download a lot of demos to play, and like these were the 2 demos that I got. Sonic the Hedgehog is known for notoriously being bad.
Okay.
Full of bugs. The game was like rushed and hardly finished, so yeah, it's just notorious for being like probably one of the worst games out there.
So, but like I say, Sonic Generations is, as far as I can tell, is one of the better 3D ones.
Tony Hawk's Project 8. A lot of people didn't give this any love, hated on it. Like out of the Tony Hawk's games, there is, it's not amazing, but
it was all right.
it's got. Yeah,
That's the one where you can make your own.
Yeah,
you can make your own tricks and stuff on it, can't you?
it had
didn't
really
pull-
good graphics.
It didn't pull me in like Tony Hawk's Underground did, and I know they were more story based, the Tony Hawk's Underground games. They were my favourite Tony Hawk's games, in all fairness, but
No,
it
I,
was
I,
alright.
I really enjoyed it, and I mean to have it again now was it's great. Something I picked up, which I never had when I was younger. I picked it up.
that's a cool
Yet
find.
to play it, Panzer Dragoon. Obviously, I a lot of people that I watch, a lot of gamers that I follow, a lot of people play it and they all swear by it. So again, I've not played it yet, I've not had time, but it's something that I'm really happy to have and looking forward to eventually playing it.
Okay, so I think I'll save them for last because they're different. So there seems to be a bit of a theme here. So I've got I basically picked up every Final Fantasy game I could get on the Switch. I don't think there's every. I think there's World of Final Fantasy, that sort of little chibi game thing. Though apparently it's not too bad, so maybe I'll pick it up at some point. But I basically got Final Fantasy 7 and 8 Twin Pack, Final Fantasy 9, which was a bit weird that they weren't all together. That was a bit weird. I'm doing stuff with a bit of hay fever and stuff. I was just getting a bit itchy. But no, I didn't put all these together because the price of this was the same price as these two, and I think they were released around the same time, and they could have easily put them on there. Never mind. Really like the cover on this. I think that's a really cool cover, and it's the remastered version of 8, and I think it's a semi-remastered version of 9, and you know the sort of not really remastered version of 7. It's just cool to have a physical version of these, especially on a Nintendo console, and they run really well on the Switch and they're portable. So for me, it was just up until recently, I didn't have any of the original, well, what I consider the original ones I played, sort of 7, 8 and 9 Final Fantasy games. I didn't have any of those as a physical version, so I picked these up. I actually got the Japanese version of Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2, which has Final Fantasy 10-2 on the cart.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. See the sort of Japanese on the back, but I also prefer that cover of it as well. I do like these white Final Fantasy covers. I'm actually going to try and reprint a different cover of that at some point to try and sort of match it. And then Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age. All of these games for me are the golden age of Squaresoft at the time, Square Enix now. It's the Zodiac Age version of 12. Loads of quality of life improvements. There's a few quality of life improvements on that. Not that it really needs them because it's a fantastic game. Really happy to own all these. I'd really like for them to release, even if it was 2 trilogies, like a physical version of Final Fantasy 1 to 3 and then 4 to 6. I know I already have other versions of them, but if I can collect so many of them on one console, it's just nice to have.
Yeah, it makes it.
On a recent console, all of them together. Little bit of the particularness or OCD talk in there, but either way, really happy to have those.
I need to pick up 9 on the Switch.
Have you not got it yet?
No, I've not got it yet. No,
You've got 7
I've
and
got
8.
7 and 8. Yeah, I haven't got 9, so I need to pick that one up soon. So probably the most recent one I've had in my list, Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword. So played this originally on the Wii, beat it, loved it.
Did we complete it together?
Yeah, we completed it together. Years ago.
It was a long time ago, wasn't it? I got the special edition version with the gold Zelda Wii remote with the Motion Plus and everything in it.
That's it.
I lent it out someone and never see it again, which is so annoying.
I've got the box still, so I've got the soundtrack.
Yeah, you have got the box for it.
I've got the cut game.
Yeah, one day you'll complete that set because I passed it on to you.
Obviously, it looks amazing. Looks like looking back at the old Wii version, like it made me go whoa, like as if
It's a bit blurry, isn't it? The original. I remember thinking it was a bit blurry at the time, even, but thinking that they were going for kind of almost like a painted.
It
looked like as if it was a painted.
It was that Wind Waker effect with
Wind Waker looked better though. that particular style lasted a lot longer.
Well, so I've got past the first dungeon and I just stopped playing it because I was really struggling. I had a Joy-Con drift at the time, and I always played my Switch in handheld mode, so I was really struggling with the sword attacks. But then even when I got the Joy-Con fixed, I went back to it. It's not that I dislike it, but I am struggling a bit with the sword swipes. Like sometimes I just feel it ain't as accurate as I feel like
it could be.
Could it be?
Have you tried using it with the Wii remote?
Yeah. So with the Joy-Cons off, it works fine. and it is a lot.
Maybe
more
that's the way to play it. I mean, that's how we played it on the
I think that's it. It's because I always I'll take my Switch to work, or just if the missus is watching something on TV, I can play a Switch in my hand. So obviously, taking the Joy-Cons off, you can still do it. It will work.
Yeah.
But it's on that tiny screen, it just doesn't work. But eventually, I'll get back on it, and I will.
I have that too. I've not played it yet. I got it physical just because I wanted to support them making HD versions of Zelda games. I want Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, hopefully in a double pack for Switch. That would be my dream come true.
Yes, please.
Those games are
please,
awesome.
Nintendo, if you're watching.
I bet they've had many people email them or whatever saying that very same thing. I would be surprised if they're not making it, but Nintendo are very strange at times with their sort of decisions with this. But I mean, they're printing money with that. I mean, it's a license to print money. I mean, even people who own those 2 Zelda games will buy it again on the Switch. So they would be daft not to. If they want money, then I think they were maybe waiting for these other Zelda games to be out of the way. Yeah. Maybe if Breath of the Wild 2, maybe that's not going to come out as early next year as we think it's going to. Maybe it'll be next Christmas, and maybe the tie over sort of Zelda game in between them. I noticed that Nintendo don't put all their eggs in one basket. When we got the Mario 3D All Stars collection, you got Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy 1. But you didn't get Super Mario Galaxy 2, even though I think that's even more highly critically acclaimed and higher rated than that. Where's Mario Galaxy 2? Again, I think they hold some stuff back purposely because they don't want to have it all out there just yet. So maybe at some point we'll get Mario Galaxy 2.
Fingers crossed.
Is it my go now? Okay, yeah. So not necessarily a game, but something I also collect. I'll go with this one first. So this is a Final Fantasy, basically like an art book, really. I got it as a gift, and it's by Yoshitaka Amano. Probably absolutely butchered that name, but it's the Sky #1, the art of Final Fantasy. So I believe this is all the artwork from Final Fantasy, maybe 1 to 3, and it's just really cool. This is a guy who's been doing art for Final Fantasy for a long time. I believe he still does in some capacity the art for it. You can definitely tell that. These are some of the older games, concept art and artwork for the cover and stuff. But it's just a really cool thing to have. But I think there is 3 of these, and I think they're all named something different, like the sky, maybe like the earth or something like that. This is #1. I will pick up the other 2 at some point, just to have a full collection from a cool artist. So
yeah, that's awesome.
There's that, and I'll bunch these together with it because it's the same sort of thing. Recently sort of picked up these as well, which is Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition strategy guide. This thing's a beast. I mean, it is absolutely massive. It is well over 820 pages. I basically started playing Horizon recently again, and I said to myself that when I was playing Horizon, because I do collect strategy guides, when I start playing it again, I'll pick up this guide before it got too expensive. It wasn't too expensive, it was still brand new, and it's the complete edition, so it's nice to have a strategy guide with the DLC in it. Again, trying to buy something and have everything in it all in one go, rather than it playing through the game and missing something. So really cool to have that. I don't really use it to play the game much. I will use it when I platinum the game. It's something that I wanted to do, so that'd be really cool.
That's awesome.
And then this absolute beast that come with a few other guides, but this one in particular, which is the special edition version of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim guide. So I have got, or did have, I can't remember if I still got it or not, the normal version. But again, this is all of the DLC, Dawnguard expansion, etc., etc. So it's got all the DLC in it, and this is a real beast. This one, I mean, I'm trying to think. So it's over 1,100 pages in that. I love Skyrim. I think anyone that probably has been into RPGs of any capacity over the last 10 years probably enjoyed Skyrim at one point as well. Played it multiple times. I'm currently playing it through. in VR again, with some mods on the Valve Index. It's running fantastic, and it's just cool to have this. You know, I like strategy guides. They're good physical things to have, and you can always use them for the game as well. You know, they're actually useful. So they're like my little game encyclopedias. So yeah, that's it for this one.
I'll end it with this then. So picked up another old console. So I never had one of these when I was younger. I think they were just slightly before my time. But I got a Game Boy Pocket.
Oh wow!
Transparent.
Can I have a look? I don't think I've probably looked at this yet.
So, if I remember correctly, you had the original Game Boy, and then they brought out the Game Boy Pocket, which is very similar to the Game Boy Color. And then they
Smaller.
went for the Game Boy
Smaller
Color,
than
and they
the
went
Game
out for
Boy
that
Color,
design,
didn't
didn't they? Yeah.
Was this after? Or I'm guessing this is before
This
the
is
Game Boy Color.
before the Game Boy Color. Because after
This feels so weird. If you've never picked up one of these before, I'm picking up straight away off this that it feels a bit like an off-brand Game Boy, but it definitely is a Nintendo Game Boy. You can tell that it is. It's just weird because it's like I can't wrap my head around that. It's not a Game Boy Color and it's not a original Game Boy. That's cool.
Well, after,
that's really cool.
Because in between as well, before the Game Boy Color, they brought like different color variations of the original Game Boy, so of the Game Boy Pocket. So you had like different colors of this, and then they finally did the Game Boy Color.
Is that backlit?
No,
it's not.
Right,
okay.
The one that they did, I think it was Japan only. They had the Game Boy Light.
That's what I'm thinking of. The Game Boy Light, Game Boy Pocket. Yeah, that's a rarity. That is a rarity. Here in England, there's certain things that you may have seen a lot in other countries, but there's certain things that we don't see very often. And as you know, growing up and being around a lot of Nintendos and stuff, the Game Boy Pocket is one of those things I never saw. And I had an original Game Boy, a couple of Game Boy Colors. My brother had a Game Boy Advance. You had a Game Boy. You know, I had a lot of Nintendo consoles growing up, but that seemed to miss us a little bit.
And also, what was really good about this one, so the original Game Boy had that like horrible green screen on it that obviously had a lot of ghosting. The screen was just awful. This one was just straight up black and white. The ghosting wasn't there.
Okay.
So like some of those old games that you.
Is it a lot sharper then?
Yeah.
Sharper.
Obviously, the screen ain't going to be winning any awards still, but it was a lot better than just.
Great. Yeah, it seemed to. I'm guessing it just didn't sell that well. What I'm guessing is it came out a bit of a weird time in between the Game Boy and the. I guess that's like your slim version or whatever. Like nowadays, when you had, or even back to the PlayStation days, the PlayStation 1, and then you got the PS1 and the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 2 Slim. I'm guessing that's their version. After a few years of releasing something, it's like, oh, we can pack all this stuff into a smaller package now, and that's what they do. So I can see that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's it for this pickup. So we've got a lot more stuff. So we'll be bringing out another video. It's been awesome. Like with everything going back to life's almost back to normal.
We've been wanting to do some videos for a while, and we've neglected it for many other reasons, and we are hoping to do videos a lot more often now. Like I say, another pickups video soon, and it's just really cool. You know, it's been a good year or so for us. So we've got a lot to show, and it's nice just to show things we've picked up and show other people. We like watching pickups videos ourselves. It's one of my favourite things to watch. There's nothing like, you know, especially, you know, I know they're longer videos quite often, but just sitting there and watching people just pick out these things. You know, we want to do the same. We want to show, you know, in our corner of the world, the things that are around us that we can pick up and things that we enjoy. So we hope you enjoy them too. You know.
Yeah. Right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the videos, guys, and we'll see you again.
See you soon.